Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, PM warns overloaded cane carters of fines. Essential services only, says RFMF. And no disruption to civil services despite cutbacks.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
Cane farmers and lorry drivers were told today they must obey the legal load weight restriction or will pay fines of $1,000 per tonne, exceeding the limit. Speaking at the official launch of the crushing season at the Lautoka mill, Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama pointed out the load limit of 16.5 tonnes came into effect 3 years ago, and cane carters had been given 2 years to fully comply. He noted that overloaded lorries are destroying roads that are part of the national infrastructure. Felipe Naikaso reports.
Not mincing his words, the Prime Minister stated that the weight restrictions must be strictly adhered to.
If you're found breaking the law by overloading, I'm sorry to tell you, you will be fined. That same goes for any trucker carrying overloaded hauls of gravel, logs, or other goods throughout Fiji. That is the law.
The Prime Minister says that one of the reasons they're coming down hard on the weight restrictions is that over the years, majority of cane trucks have gone over the limit, have caused damage to the roads. This is why Bainimarama is calling on lorry drivers and cane farmers to abide by the weight restrictions.
I see there are some lorry drivers in Uno level who don't want to adhere to these loading restrictions, even with the ample notice and the exemptions we've given over the past. But they must recognize that our roads are a taxpayer-funded resource, and they must be respected as such.
The president of the Fiji Cane Lorry Association agrees.
See, I'm very happy what the Prime Minister has said, because in the first meeting we had, they had given us 15.4 tons, but now it increases to 16.5. That's good for the farmers and the lorry drivers.
Bainimarama also says they can't allow politicians behind the scenes to pull the strings and lead them into rash action. He says they need to see the bigger picture and adhere to the laws designed to protect the interests of all Fijians. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Meanwhile, despite the numerous calls and warnings, cane lorry drivers in Lambasa are adamant they will not be operating until their grievances regarding weight restrictions is resolved. Lambasa Mill was the first to begin crushing, and this stance by the drivers is now affecting cane supply. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
These disgruntled cane lorry drivers are not satisfied with the outcome of the meeting between the Lambasa Cane Lorry Operators Association, the Fiji Sugar Corporation and the Land Transport Authority.
They said that no, they do not agree to some of those things that were presented to them.
Yesterday, the LTA had given the cane lorry drivers a grace period of less than 3 weeks to continue carrying over the 16.5-ton limit, while discussions for a solution is ongoing.
The only request they are asking is that there should be no scaling of lorries on the roads, and we will abide by the measurement, dimension of 10 by 11.
Until the demand is met, the cane lorry drivers have agreed they will not operate.
We have been giving one date of 18th of June. They will be waiting till then to have some positive answers from the authorities concerned.
The stance by the lorry drivers has affected cane supply to the Lambasa mill. Currently, cane is being brought to the mill by rail and tractors, but supply is low. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Lautoka is the second sugar mill to officially start the crushing season with an ambitious crushing target of 690,000 tonnes of cane. Fiji Sugar Corporation Chief Executive Graham Clark says they want to crush 12% more cane this year and is confident with the mill's capabilities and the commitment from the management and staff, this will help achieve this. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
There are high expectations from the Lautoka mill's performance this season which will crush additional cane from the Rarawai mill area due to the loss of the Bar River rail bridge last year.
This year we've been fortunate not to go through any natural disasters, so we expect a good quality cane crop and a better sugar make as a result.
The mill underwent further capital refurbishment to its diffuser plant last year, which brought about efficiencies in the sugar process.
We'll continue to improve our mill plant and equipment to bring about consistency in sugar manufacturing and improve the general efficiency of the mills.
This year, the sugar industry has been allocated $70.4 million in the 2019 and 2020 budget, an increase of $8 million.
Those funds will continue to fund the guaranteed cane price of $85 per ton, giving farmers confidence and certainty in the future. That figure is despite a forecasted market price of around $50. So we're guaranteeing over $30 extra over that price, all for your benefit.
The Lautoka mill continues to be a model for other mills as it punches above its weight. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
And we now cross live to our West reporter, Felipe Naikaso, who will tell us more on the investments made in the sugar industry for this crushing season. Felipe, what can cane farmers and lorry drivers expect?
Yes, Jackie, the Prime Minister had made a number of announcements while he was in Lautoka today. Some of these include the $3 million allocated to continue upgrading the access roads, which is very vital to a lot of farmers in the country. Also, the Prime Minister mentioned that the excise duty on new trucks has fallen to 0, and the fiscal duty on second-hand vehicles has fallen from 15% to 5%. With this, the Prime Minister has called on lorry drivers and cane drivers to upgrade their vehicles or their cane trucks and to get rid of the old ones and inefficient trucks. Also, the Prime Minister stated that they have requested the FCCC to regulate prices for cane lorries, which will protect the farmers from any price hike. He also said that they are currently waiting for the report from the Indian government to ensure that the railway systems is upgraded to accommodate higher loads of freight and also reducing cane cartage costs for farmers. Also, the Prime Minister ensured or told the farmers that were present today and also to the lorry drivers that the government will continue to assist the sugar industry going forward. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Felipe. The Republic of Fiji military forces are only carrying out essential services until the beginning of the new financial year. RFMF Commander Rear Admiral Viliaminau Poto says it's commonplace for this time of the year for the military to wind up their operations. Maggie Boyle reports.
Yes, Head of the military today setting the record straight on why some of their troops are working half day.
Books are about to be closed now and we do not want to go into the red. We call it a reduced activity period, whereby those that have a lot of leave are asked to go on leave. And then we are really just working on essential, very key essential services right now. So no training, apart from the training for those that have to go overseas for peacekeeping.
Commander Naporta maintains that despite the reduction in their budget for 2019-2020, there are a number of projects in the pipeline.
We're receiving 2 new vessels. One is coming in from Korea, one is provided by Australia. The wharf facility for the naval base will be redone, renewed, and of course we know that BlackRock will be almost completed in the new financial year.
Meanwhile, $1.1 million has been allocated for 40 personnel to man the 2 new military vessels, the RFNS Savanava and RFNS Volasinga. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Despite a significant cutback in their budget, the Civil Service Ministry will continue focusing on providing responsive, efficient and effective services. The ministry has been allocated $3.3 million for the new financial year, compared to over $50 million in this financial year. Praneet Prakash reports.
The Minister for Economy has clarified that cutback in the civil service budget will not affect the government services or the civil servants' pay.
A lot of the ministries used to, when they used to factor in the cost of their salaries, they would not necessarily plug in the amount that people are being paid. So that's how I used to build what we call the FAT, in the system. So we've now got all the ministries to try and give us the exact amount of what they will pay out as opposed to the position salary that it attracts at the maximum level.
The minister says this is why all the ministries were asked to provide the exact amount that is to be paid out. Apart from this, the ministry will also push the civil servants to multitask in the new financial year.
The more multi-skilled, multitasked civil service you get, the better it is for us. Because of course, if you get a more sort of leaner civil service that is a lot more proficient and efficient, then you get a better return for your value, and and also better return for your money. And you can also then significantly in the future have better pay rises too.
Minister for Economy says civil servants are now paid more compared to a few years ago. The salary bill now stands at over $1 billion compared to $620 million in 2013. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Still to come, family court judgments available to public. And albinos seek equal consideration. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Hoya uvasit sai sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warro nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Dua da tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warro nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere. Wana mtuma nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere nawaluan.
Na evengo fani na tao.
For the first time, Fijians will be able to access the family law judgments. Acting Chief Justice Kamal Kumar says this marks a milestone achievement as the judgments will be available through the judiciary and the website, Koroi Tandulala reports.
Publishing the judgments will help the public, academics and students, says the Acting Chief Justice.
At the moment, they could not access any family court judgments that was published, that was given. Now, with the publication, they'll be to access the judgments and then know what are the factors and what the court looks at when the court looks at certain matters, certain situations.
The Acting Chief Justice says they've had instances where people questioned some of the orders or judgments delivered in the family court.
We have seen that on some occasions. Obviously, we have noticed that legal practitioners must have gone through it too, and public too. Two judicial officers dealing with the same set of facts, almost very similar set of facts, we make orders that are quite different to each other. And some people question, how come I have a similar situation, I got this order, but in that one there's another order.
Law and Development Partners Director Kate Sumner says having this process in place puts Fiji in a leading role in judiciary proceedings in the Pacific.
For any court, there are really three ways that you can be transparent. You're transparent through the publication of your work.
The publication of the family law judgment will aid in delivering consistent judgment for certain cases. Justice Kumar says judges have been trained to anonymize judgments and to write with anonymity in mind. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The Environment Ministry currently has a total of 600 litter prevention officers to combat the growing litter problem. Permanent Secretary Joshua Wycliffe says they want to have certified officers on the ground as they want to enforce Litter Act, an amended Drainage Act which allows for penalties to be imposed on those caught littering. Wycliffe says similar trainings were conducted in the Western and the Northern divisions in order to build the capacity of other public officers.
In 2019, the Ministry of Waterways and Environment launched a clean environment policy. Until this day, we have since trained close to 200 plus litter prevention officers.
Finding the number of people with albinism is a challenge for the Fiji Albinism Project. Project representative Sainimili Tawake says though the recorded number is over 200, with 60 of them students, they believe there are still more out there. Savaratambo reports today marks International Albinism Awareness Day, with the theme still going strong.
The Fiji Albinism Project says incorrect beliefs and myths heavily influenced by superstition put the security and lives of persons with albinism at constant risk. Many of them could not show themselves.
We are trying to dismantle the myths, the cultural myths, and we're trying to encourage persons with albinism to come out, to be counted, so that in doing so, government will be able to provide the much better and needed service.
Meanwhile, people with albinism have faced ongoing hurdles and challenges that seriously undermine the enjoyment of human rights. Some of them have been encouraged by the theme for the day, still going strong.
Despite being different from everyone, I am able to stand up strong, hold my head up high, and do what other people can do.
Stay strong, no matter where we go or what we do, I'll stay strong and don't care about what people say.
The theme for this year's International Albinism Awareness Day has been chosen to recognize, celebrate and encourage strength in persons with albinism. The worldwide average rate for people with albinism is 1 in 17,000. In Fiji, the rate is 1 in 700. Albinism is a genetic condition resulting in little or no pigmentation in the skin, hair and eyes. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
A 46-year-old pastor charged with 4 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault was today told to file another bail application with the High Court Registry. The defence submitted that their client was a first offender and the bail application was denied. The Suva High Court heard that Waisake Tulavu allegedly raped 3 church members, aged 22, 29 and 32, in Asinu last year. It is alleged that Tulavu and 50-year-old senior church pastor Sakiusa Nakutoro raped the 3 victims. Nakutoro is charged with 1 count of rape. The matter has been adjourned to the 28th of June for bail hearing. Later in Sports with Jamie, competition heats up at Eastern Zone, but first, Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, 5 women exhibitors received certificate. And in growing Fiji, Agriculture Ministry budget praised. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Lorry. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Lorry. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger.
Leading business tonight, the graduation program for women artisans is yet another milestone achievement for the National Women's Expo. 5 women received recognition for successfully securing markets and venturing into their own business. Kelly Vadala reports.
These women exhibitors received certificates and $1,000 each from the Ministry of Women in recognition of their business skills.
I have been into mat weaving for years and I've used my skills to develop a business. Now I have 3 stalls at the flea market. I've successfully built a house in Watuanga with the money I've earned.
I have been running my handicraft business for 16 years now and I'm based in South Sabo. I was emotional receiving my certificate because I started with nothing.
For 32-year-old Koto Matemosi, graduating at this year's Expo is a proud moment for her as she's continuing with her mom's mercy-making legacy.
I was inspired when I was helping her during my teen days. Then she supported me through education. Then I went to universities, then end up doing quality assurance stuff. I quit doing that, then come back to doing mercy making. It's just continue from my mom's legacy.
It's such an achievement to be recognized for my skills, especially when I came all the way from the Lao group. I weave baskets for a living, and it's a very rewarding business for me and my family.
Some significant segments have been organized for this year's Expo and it will feature during the event. These programs include the handing over Fijian crafted licenses and the Rural Women Fashion Show. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
And Sharon from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the Money World.
The chances of a US Federal Reserve interest rate cut this year have dramatically increased. The expectation was reinforced this morning when the US inflation numbers showed that their consumer prices barely rose in May. Last month's consumer price index edged up only 0.1% for the 4th straight month, and the core price index has been running below the Fed's 2% target this year. Closer to home, Australia's unemployment rate held steady at 5.2% last month, despite the creation of more than 42,000 jobs. The seasonally adjusted participation rate for May increased 0.1 points to 66%. Analysts expected the jobless rate to remain steady in around 5.1%, following a surprising uptick in April that ultimately forced the Reserve Bank to cut rates to a new record low last week. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Finaka.
Thanks, Sharon. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. A fairly solid day for the Fiji dollar, which showed gains against the Chinese yuan as well as the US greenback, the Kiwi, the Kina and the Yen, but our dollar slipped slightly against the Aussie and the Euro. Looking at the commodities market, oil prices continued down at $51 per barrel. Gold remained steady on the rise at $1,337 per ounce, and silver was down at $14.77 an ounce. And in Going Fiji tonight, renowned businessman and former Finance Minister Sir Jim Alcoy says the 2019-2020 national budget is godsend for farmers. He says agriculture has retained its exports incentives that will capitalize on the Fijian-grown bran across new markets. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Agriculture is a key area of development and a key aspect for the budget 2019-2020.
I've come to this meeting to the budget address, not as the ex-Minister of Finance, but as a farmer. We have one of the biggest pieces of land farming, and we export to Australia and New Zealand. And so from a business and farmers point of view, it's a great budget.
With more than $78 million allocated for agriculture alone, there are a number of other measures to further capitalize on incentives.
Recently, I've announced a number of projects, particularly the bigger main objective is to promote commercial agriculture.
Under agriculture and marketing, there's a $5.6 million allocation to assist with market access.
These include initiatives such as Sugarcane Farmers Assistance of $4 million, the Stabilization Fund of $30 million. Meanwhile, Alcoy says that harsh penalties by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service makes good business sense.
Taxation from VAT and the way they're policing it and the way they're able, the tax man is able to get tax and zeroing on businesses is very commendable. Remember what I mean? Because you can't get away with it now.
Food security and support for key crop commodities are other key programs being topped up in the new financial year. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
And that's it from the business desk for tonight. Jamie's up next with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, relegation threatens Fiji Rugby under 20. And Pacific Games next for Buller Boys. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Fiji Under-20s are one of 4 teams in danger of being relegated to the Junior World Rugby Under-20 trophy next year. This after losing to Wales 28-44 in its final pool match at the World Rugby Under-20 Championships this morning. Aquila Dharma reports.
First of all, I want to thank the boys for the hard work given today. And we really give all our best.
They surely gave their best against Wales this morning, but it wasn't enough.
Tournament, could have volleys a neat little kick, lovely work, and this guy can move. Ndro Asese, and it looks as if Fiji are going to respond here, much to the delight of the crowd.
Team captain Daniela Songona believes the players performed much better today than their previous 2 outings.
we came good on the first half, and the last 20 minutes we come slack down. So I think the boys, we done better from our last previous game for this game today against Wales.
Songoro Wasaloa also scored one of Fiji's 4 tries.
Wales look to get their hands on the ball just outside their own 22. Neat step from the captain, and he's away. Oh, what a score! What a score!
Winger Kaminieli Rasaku managed to cross over twice, and one of his tries was from a set-piece move.
Round the corner, and here come the runners. Osea Nachonga straight through. He's got support and gets it from Kaminieli Rasaku. Climbing over the bodies, that's a scrum half. Lovely step, and again it's going to be a second try for Kaminieli Rasaku.
Wales scored 6 tries to claim the win today. The baby flying Fijians will now meet Georgia in 4 days' time. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
Some good news for rugby fans in the country. For the first time ever, both provincial rugby semi-finals in both the men's and women's competition will be broadcast live on FBC's free-to-air TV channels. Aquila Dhama with the details.
As well, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation will air both Skipper Cup semi-finals live on FBC TV and FBC Sports on Saturday.
This is the first time that we will be televising both the semi-finals live on FBC TV and FBC Sports. This is a great initiative by FBC TV team. I think Skipper Cup deserves a live broadcast. We've been doing it for the past few weeks. And now with the semi-finals, it will be a great thing for whole of Fiji to view these matches live on TV.
Even the Fiji Rugby Union is excited about the broadcast, saying it will sure make an impact on the fans.
We are quite excited about the broadcast arrangement that we have. And even though we, throughout the tournament, the live broadcast have really generated interest. And while the games are live, the numbers at the ground have also increased, which is really exciting. And I think it's the way forward. I think we've started a journey where we will be able to generate revenue through broadcast revenue. And we are grateful for FBC this year in coming on board and being our partners for the competition.
The Nandronga and Naita Siri game can be watched on FBC TV, while the Suva and Nandi match will air on FBC Sports. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
The Ministry of Education, Fiji Primary Schools Rugby and the Fiji Rugby Union today signed a memorandum of agreement paving the way forward for Kachi rugby in the country. Permanent Secretary for Education Alison Burchell says this agreement sets a proper pathway not only for student athletes but also for coaches, technical officials and volunteers. Burchell also highlighted one of the key areas enshrined in the agreement.
To ensure that we address the issue of safeguarding and our duty of care. And it is a result of that we're saying that under 11 inclusive and downwards in terms of age groups will be tag rugby.
We are the ones who teach our little ones how to take that step, how to pass that ball, how to tackle, how to read the game of rugby. When they go into secondary schools rugby, they are already custom-made rugby players. And we thank you very much for the development on that note.
The battle for top spot in the Under-18 Eastern Zone Deans Rugby competition will be a tough one with mixed results so far. At the end of round 3, Queen Victoria School yesterday beat Leline Memorial 8 points to 3. The win an upset after Leline defeated RKS last week. Meanwhile, RKS registered a huge 41-6 win over QVS in the opening round. Apanisa Wangai Randovo reports.
The backline defense from both sides were tight, but it was a moment of fatigue in the Leline side that saw QVS making the lone try in the match.
I believe it's too early now at the beginning of the season to really predict or to assume anything, but anything can happen. They have a professional there and who knows what to do and to guide them. And for us, Team QVS, we have to work on our own backyard and sort things out on how we can improve from each game.
Despite the defeat, Leline surely will not be counted out as they had defeated the Under-18 defending champion Ratu Kandabule School in their zone meet last weekend. Team manager Marika Sobaki says tough encounters are expected in competitions.
Thankful to the boys, they did what they were told.
to do on the field. And we have maintained, we're also happy to maintain the core of the team from last year. And they are now being under 18 team.
Lilin and QBS played the under 17 final last year, and both sides have retained 90% of their players who are now playing in their respective under 18 teams. Albinism, FBC Sports.
The national football team now turns its attention to the Pacific Games in Samoa next month. The side arrived back last night after competing in the Tri-Nations Series in Vanuatu. Niraj Maharaj with this report.
National team coach Christophe Gamel says they will now focus on the Pacific Game as they are drawn in a pool of death with Tahiti, Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, American Samoa and New Caledonia.
It's a very tough group. So let's take any game by game, and we know that we face Tahiti first game. It will be a direct revenge. So let's be ready for this game.
Gamel says he will have a meeting with Fiji FA as soon as possible to arrange for some warm-up games. The national football team captain, Davi Randringai, praised the team as they stayed unified and defended well in both matches.
The team played well and stayed together under pressure. The boys learnt a lot from the two games. We implemented what we practiced at training.
Meanwhile, when questioned about the red card he copped against Tahiti, Gamel says it's part of the game.
It's part of the job. Do you think that Mourinho, or give me other example of coach who never take a red card? Billy Singh never take a red card with the national team? Yes, he did. Who else? You want I give you name? Yogendra Dutt, took a red card. So why, when it come to me, it become a scandal?
The Bulla boys will have a rest till the 16th when they return to camp to prepare for the Pacific Games. Neeraj Maharaj, FBC Sports.
The national women's football team's next big assignment is also the Pacific Games. The side arrived in the country yesterday after a successful Vanuatu tour. The Marika Rondu coach team won both games in the Tri-Nations FIFA International Friendlies, defeating Singapore 3-1 and host Vanuatu 1-0. The team is placed in a tough pool at the Pacific Games alongside Tonga, American Samoa and New Caledonia. The girls have gone into camp at the Fiji FA Academy in Watuanga, Suva to prepare for the games in Samoa next month. Australia bounced back from its loss to India, narrowly beating a spirited Pakistan by 41 runs at the Cricket World Cup in England. In today's Play of the Day, a brilliant piece of fielding by Australia's Glenn Maxwell to end their 41-run win over Pakistan. That's it from Sports Tonight. You can join Angie later on with weather, and in the world of the weird and wonderful, an alligator with an appetite for police cars. Details coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबोलुम्बुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फिजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Selecting an iPad from Apple's catalog can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Are you ready for the weekend or almost prepared for it? Because it's only a day away. Well, let's not go there yet. In today's conditions, there isn't anything to complain about. The weather was all good and pretty cool with only a few scattered showers around the country. Now taking a look in the west, mainly sunny and humid weather. The sea is still a bit cold. Be cautious before your dives. Eastwards from Pekhawa to Suva, it was cloudy with sunny breaks and cool. And up north, more sunny conditions. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 3:52 a.m. with low tide at 10:16 a.m. Sunrise at 6:35. For tomorrow, it's Friday. Luckily, it will be clear and cool. Tomorrow's temps, most centers will be flexing from 28 to 29 degrees. And looking further on to Saturday, sunshine is here with its coolness, and yes, it's here to stay. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, should more high-tech equipment be installed at the main port of entries?
I think it's a good idea. We need to have a lot of that kind of machine in our port of entry, especially in this new era.
That's good. It's very easy to check all the illegal items coming to Fiji.
I think this is a really good initiative to protecting our children's future, as well as monitoring what comes in and out of our country and making us safe from smuggling in illegal substances.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, bite out of crime. An alligator bites off a piece of a police vehicle as it escapes authorities. Take a look.
Police usually take a bite out of crime, but an 8-foot alligator turned the tables. On Facebook, the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office in Louisiana posted pics of an alligator who was casually in the middle of a nearby highway. While deputies waited for wildlife removal experts to arrive on the scene, they tried to contain the gator themselves. But this gator was certainly not going quietly. The animal made a break for it and escaped, but not before it took a big old bite out of the front of one of the deputies' patrol cars. The one that got away, the caption said. Ah, well, there's always next time. See ya later, alligator.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, PM warns overloaded Ken Carters of fines. Essential services only, says RFMF, and no disruption to civil services despite cutbacks. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll questions this week we're asking, are we on the right track in banning single-use plastic? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, heading home from the farm in Lambasa, sent in by our Lambasa correspondent Eleanor Tarangaivu. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe, stay warm, good night.
Bula, nevan gomal kay leloma, ngongai nakas ondo makarong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai sa Lambasa, ondo talita na warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere. Warong tuma ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere nawaluan.
Nevan go fane na tao no go singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Bula FM, namban dua na sere.